Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mriturma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. The subject of my talk today is peace, outer and inner. I do not know whether some of you are aware there is a World Peace Day. It is observed, or it has been mandated to be observed by all the countries which are member of United Nations, and that day is September 21st. We did not observe that. Just a month ago it was observed probably in many places, but I don't think it was done in a very noisy way, if you call that. Means we did not hear much about that. But we had celebrated our Peace Day on Friday when we sprinkled peace water ritualistically. So we also have our craving for peace. Now peace, as you know, is a sort of universal longing. Everybody is seeking for peace. The reason is that from the very basic instinct that we have within ourselves, that means joy or bliss that we crave, it is a part of that peace. If you have bliss, you will have peace. If you have joy in your mind, you will have peace. So in that way, peace is a part of that bigger instinct, if you call it, or bigger feeling that we have within ourselves, which is known as bliss. So we are always seeking bliss because according to Vedanta, we are embodiment of bliss, but we have forgotten that. So we crave to go back to that. Now the point is that we may differ. As I told you, it is universal, so we may differ. There might be differences amongst ourselves in different ways. In the belief and politics, that means in our opinion, we adhere to some political thoughts, or we are members of some different political parties, but all the members of politics, they will not deny that they don't want peace. That means they're craving irrespective of political following. And the religion also, peace is the goal. All the religion says that if you reach God, you will have eternal peace. So in whatever way you go, that doesn't matter, but the goal is attainment of peace. Then in occupation also. So in occupation we have doctors, engineers, carpenters, masons, and all those types of professions are there. They will also say that, well, we are struggling, we are earning money, we are eating food, we are enjoying life, but ultimately we need peace of mind in the workplace or in the family situation, whatever it may be. So they do not forget peace. So peace is at the bottom of everybody's mind. So in the same way we see that peace is sort of universal crave that we have. Now in spiritual life also, peace is very important. We do meditation, we do prayer, we do rituals, we go for pilgrimages, and all those things show that we are really craving. What is that craving? That means craving is for peace of mind. We can get peace of mind probably by going to a place of pilgrimage, or by having some company of holy person. That also brings peace. So in that way, in a religious field also, we try to get peace. Now there are different ways for attainment of peace. Broadly they can be divided into three categories. One is this religious way. That means religious, different religion will profess that these are the ways by which actually you can have peace of mind. Peace of mind and control of the mind are same thing actually in one way. That means those who are religious, they also have difficulties in controlling the mind. And if one can control the mind, then attainment of peace is achieved. So in the same way, we see that those who may not be that religious but want to control the mind by some practices, especially yoga. In yoga, there are practices, meditation. That is, irrespective of following of any religion, even without following of any religion, one can practice meditation, control the mind. And of course, there are ordinary persons are there who are not into meditation, probably not professing too much of religion. They also want a little bit of peace of mind in their day-to-day life. So to cater all these types of people, or in the different stations of life of people, and those who have different types of beliefs, there are ways of achieving that. So I would like to share some of them with you. First, say Patanjali. Patanjali was a great philosopher as well as psychologist, you can say. You can say he was a great Vedanta psychologist or Hindu psychologist. Those who studied Patanjali, they will see that he has done enormous research and brought some knowledge which from his posterior, that means which were available to him, and penned down a beautiful book which is known as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And that book is dedicated for the control of the mind, that means peace of mind. So there we see that other than the regular practice means yes, steps, that means there are different steps. If you practice one step, then you advance to next step, then you advance to third step. In that way, he has enumerated 8 steps. And if somebody have the patience and great desire and follows the steps, ultimately success will come. That means mind will be fully controlled. And that is a systematic way. But in day-to-day life also he has prescribed something which sometimes we ignore or do not pay much attention, except following the steps, and especially the meditation part we do. So, but he has said that, well, when you sit for meditation, definitely there will be disturbances, but the disturbances can be taken care of by post or pre-meditation activities that you do. That means if you follow some very small principles in your life, that is, make it a habit of yourself, then actually you will see the good effect when you sit for meditation. So he has given just 4 principles that are there. So he says that calmness of the mind is obtained by friendliness towards the happy. In our society, he is saying that in our society there are different types of persons we encounter in our every day. So some are happy, some are unhappy, some are extremely what is called delinquent, and some are what is called doing good things and such other things. So what will be our attitude? Sometimes, if we see somebody is doing good things and just progressing faster, we become jealous at them. Then we always think that, well, how actually that person is becoming so rich, or getting so much fortune, or getting so much reputation, and all those things, we become jealous actually. But that is one of the reasons why our mind becomes disturbed. So he is saying that friendliness towards the happy, those who are happy, happiness may have been obtained by a person in his own way, or he has a gift of being happy also. It may happen like that. So if you find such person, be happy with him. That means you be friendly. That means you cultivate friendship with such person. Don't be jealous. Just try to emulate or try to know, or just be friendly. That means you encourage in that way you have that attitude. Then there are unhappy persons also. Unhappy persons, probably most of the people are unhappy in one sense, as you know, in our society. There are many reasons. Somebody is trying to achieve something, is failing, or somebody is trying to get a raise, and he's not getting, probably somebody wants to going to school and nothing is happening, or whatever it may be, disease and all those things are also there. So naturally, unhappiness is quite common. So we shall encounter with unhappy people definitely in our everyday life. So what should be our attitude? So he is saying that be compassionate to them, be sympathetic to them. That means you may not do, or probably you do not have the capacity to do anything for what is called to get to help him to get out of the unhappiness. Suppose somebody is diseased, so naturally your knowledge is limitation. You have a limitation in your knowledge, probably in time also. So in that way, probably you cannot do anything, but be sympathetic. That means yes, suffering is there. So in that way, little bit what is called compassionate words and all those things will be useful. So point is that you should not criticize. Probably you should not say that, well, you have eaten these things for your life, and that is why you are suffering. So in that way, if you just be very curt to that person, unhappiness will come to you. That is the point. So certain reason is there why people become unhappy. So be compassionate to them. That means yes, some mistake has been done, or it is his life also, probably it is what is called past lives work, past lives result that he is reaping now. It may happen in that way also. That is not our concern. But he is unhappy, let us be sympathetic to him. And the point is this: if we are sympathetic, then at the time of meditation, the disturbances will be less. It is, connection is like this. Why we should be unsympathetic? Probably I cannot do anything, but still just by expressing sympathy, our mind will be at peace. Then there are delight in good. That means somebody is doing good work. It is just like happiness, you can say. That means it is a part of the happiness, and some good work is being done. So that person has to be encouraged at the point. If we know that somebody is doing charity or helping to the poor people, such other things many people do. So encourage them. So that means some sort of happiness will come to you. That means peace of mind will come to you. So if you see that he is wasting time, that means just for the name's sake, actually he is doing all those things. If you criticize or keep that type of mentality towards that person, actually it will be disturbing you in meditation. Finally, there is some persons are evil, outright evil. There are some persons, that is why you have prisons and all those things. Incidentally, you know, in this country, it is said that all the prisons, all the prisoners that are in the world, in the whole world, 25% of prisoners are in this country. So you can see to what extent actually evil things are around us. So that means they are incarcerated. It is not that there are persons who are really roaming around, but still 25% of all the prisoners of the world are in this country, and still we need more prisons. So you can imagine the extent of evil things that are around us. So what should we do? You cannot really lift them up, or you cannot. It is so enormous thing that even if you make some effort, you do not know whether you shall be able to do anything. So be indifferent. Let it be. It is such a situation is like that. Let me not involve in those things. In that way, you have to take that attitude. So then actually, peace of mind will be there. That means at the time of meditation, you will not be disturbed. If you think of the evil things that are happening around you, it is always happening. So it is a disturbance. You cannot really escape disturbances during the meditation. So these are the very simple things that Patanjali has said that we can follow make it a habit in our life, and in that way actually we can keep peace of mind. So this is a sort of mechanical way or cultivation of habit which actually contributes to a peace of mind in our day-to-day life. Now let us see a little bit from the religious point of view. Religious point of view, Lord Buddha, you know, his spiritual practices are very practical. He has said that don't bother about whether God exists or not. That is, If God exists, let him exist. And if he does not exist, let him not exist, whatever it may be. But you do something so that you realize what is the best for you, what is the goal of your life. You at least, Buddhists actually believe in the liberation. So you can achieve that by your own effort. So why don't you concentrate on that? So then you will be able to know whether God is there or not there. So all those questions will be answered. So all the sermons that he had given are very practical. Practical in a sense, that means whenever he encountered some problem, some sort of problem, some type of problem, so fitting to that problem, how to solve that, he used to give sermons. They are called suttas. And the suttas are so many in numbers that many of them have not been translated into English even now. So in Tibet and such other places, in remote monasteries in the Himalayas and such other places, they are still preserved. They worship them. That means they are kept in a very all possible ways. Protection is given to them, and they worship them and save them, and in that way they are saved. But the point is that they are so enormous in number that many of them are still need to be translated. I came to know about this. I thought that Tripitaka is known as the collection of Lord Buddha's all the lectures. That means all the sermons that he has given. So I asked one of the scholars of Buddhism, who is associated with this University of Berkeley. So can we get all the sermons of Lord Buddha translated in English? He said, no, Swami, it is still being translated. That means all the translations are not really complete. So there are schools or there are individuals who are doing that. So in that way, there are some which are available in English and other languages definitely. So he has said in one place, and it is known as Anguttara Niyaka. That means it is a sermon which, as I understand, is a chapter is written in this way. That means first one sermon, and then second sermon actually has 2 advices. Then the third one has got 3 advices. In that way, actually, it continues. So it has been collected in that way. So there, actually, he has said that if you have a sort of philosophy of life, that means all persons have got something about a concept about what is life and what is going to happen and what we see happening. And all those things are always there. So we all may not be intentionally or very seriously think about that, but if we look different truths of the life, and if we keep them in our mind, actually much of the disturbances of the mind will be taken care of. So there are like this. There are 5 inevitables of the life. So he is saying in this way. First is that youth will live, old age will come. So if you are lucky, actually you can live for a long time, you have to accept that. That means you will never live as a young person ever. So at a certain point of the probably at present youth is considerably, it is said, senior citizenship. Probably at the age, after the age of 65, you will be definitely old. So of course, if one can become old earlier also, but officially you will become old. That means senior citizens are considered to be old. So the point is that you have to accept that. You cannot deny that you will never become old. And if you think that I take this, what is called this supplement and this herb and that organic food and all those things, and I shall beat old age, it will never happen. So we have to accept that. Then illness will come. You cannot say again with different what is called herbs and supplements and organic food, and also you cannot avoid illness. Some sort of illness will come from somewhere, you will not be able to figure out. The point is that you have to accept that illness will come. So don't feel sorry if you fall ill. It is a part of human existence. We become ill. Then death will come. That also nobody can really differ. Nowadays, a lot of research is there, so naturally what is called the life is being extended according to the what is called available medicine or health and hygiene and all those things that are there. So it is being extended. We understand, well, after 80 we can really live nowadays. But after 80 we have to accept that we will die. If you are lucky, if you are not dead by that time, you can think that death will come. Ultimately, we know it is said, in our scriptures it is said, in Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, then Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, the lifespan they have given. So in Dwapar Yuga, we know from the history or from Mahabharata that Lord Krishna lived 120 years. At those times, it is said. And in our scriptures, in general, that means in all the ages, one can live up to the age of 100. That is possible. That means it is a possibility for everybody if somebody, if that person follows rules and regulations of life, lives a good life, and all the, what is called, in that way it is possible to live 100 years. And actually we are reaching that age. Up to 100 years probably it will be possible, but whether it will be, the quality of the life will remain good, that is a great question. But still some people, we find time to time that some people are living 100 years and also still quite, what is called, the brain is still functioning well. It happens like that. So that is understandable, but you cannot think that we will live forever. It is not possible. So we have to accept that death will come. Then fourthly, he has said that things we hold dear will change and decay or get separated. So we have many things in life. That means we have books, we have houses, we have friends and whatnot. So cars and all those things are always there. So as time passes, actually things change, and also those things actually have something we have to give up, something we have to acquire, then that will we have to give up, then we have to acquire something. In that way, things will always go on. So you cannot really avoid this type of change. So point is this, things we hold dear. Dear means if you are attached to something, actually that is a catch. That means something with which actually have some sort of attachment. Someday actually you will lose it. Today or tomorrow, that is the point. You do not know when, but definitely you will lose that. So point is that don't get attached to things too much. As and when things are necessary, you use them, but after that, don't think that it can be preserved forever. It will not happen. So that this is the fourth, what is called inevitable of the life. He has said, things we hold dear will change, decay, or get separated. Our countries are, that means we are immigrants, so our country is so dear to us. So we have to come here, probably some of us for learning, for some of us to enjoy the life, some with some mission or whatever it may be. But still, motherland is always the dearest, what is called attachment that we have. We all actually bear in our mind. So when a person from our country comes, naturally feel interested, talk to him and feel very happy. The point is that this type of separation is really painful, but we have to, they are inevitable. You cannot really escape them. Then fifth is this, we reap fruits of our good and bad thoughts and actions. We do not pay attention to that. That means we think that we are doing something which may not be good, and as we pass through this, things will just stop there. That means there will be no repercussion. But it does not happen in that way. Every action has what is called, there will be some reaction or there will be some result. In the what is called mechanical laws are like that, and in the field of what is called psychology also it is like that. In the field of philosophy, spirituality, the same law actually applies. What you do, you have to reap the fruits. So that is inevitable. So the point is this, we reap fruits of our good or bad thoughts and actions. Thoughts also, that is also important. If you think bad thoughts, you don't think that I am thinking, nobody is able to figure out what I am thinking, but I am thinking that let that person we can get rid, if I can get rid of that person, it will be very good, and all those things. Actually, in the mind, you are thinking that nobody is knowing this, but at the time of meditation, you will find it is difficult. That means disturbances are coming. So don't think what is called bad thoughts and what is called will not disturb us. So better to think good thoughts. That the way actually he has said, it has been said that think good things of the persons who are around you, in that way you have to do. So this is the what is called inevitables of life. Lord Buddha, as I told you, was himself a great psychologist, in a sense that he was very practical in his spiritual instructions. So whenever somebody came, he actually gave proper instruction. Not only that, he used to have daily congregations also. He used to address huge number of people during his time. Then he has said some positive principles you will follow in your life, then actually mind will be in good condition. That means you will be meditation and all those things will be good. Live an ethical life. Sometimes we feel that ethical life is taught to us by the elders because they feel that otherwise, what is called, there will be some difficulties. Definitely there will be some difficulties. So some basic principles of ethics are always taught to children. So if you really, what is called, ignore them, then actually difficulties will be there in your life. That means you need to follow ethical life for the peace of mind. Then second is give very best to all situations of life. That means if you encounter some difficulties or if you are in a difficult situation, don't curse or do something which will be unhelpful to in the situation. So do best, that means whatever is best you do. Help something, if you cannot do, just don't disturb, that is also good. So in that way, do best whatever is possible in all situations of life. Then cherish a noble ideal for life. That is very important. We are sometimes depressed, that means nothing is happening, I cannot do anything, I am limited, physical limitation is there, mental limitations are there. If you think of those negative thoughts always, things will not happen. That means it is very miserable life you will live. And not only that, those thoughts will come during meditation, disturbances will come, peace of mind will be disturbed. I can tell you one story that is very publicized by one of our Swamis, so I encountered that story very often. There was one lady. She was traveling in a train. You know, in India, trains are very congested. That means you have to hang from the handle sometimes outside the the carriages. In that way, actually, it happens during the office time or Saturday time, especially when Kumbh Mela will be there. You see the people are sitting on the roof of the the cars. So it is so congested. So it so happened that she was traveling and she had a side, purse or whatever you call it. So some thief actually, that means to pickpocket or whatever, just snatched that. And to catch that actually, she lost her balance and fell on the track, that means fell from the train. Of course, she did not die, probably train was not traveling that fast at that time. So the thief probably wanted to escape. So to catch that actually, she lost the balance and fell down. And it so happened that when she fell down, it was on another parallel line was there. From the other side of the line, another train came, and her legs were really cut into two pieces. You can imagine the situation. So, but she survived. That means, whatever it may be, that means she was taken care of and she survived. Now she thought that my life is gone. That means I cannot do anything in my life after getting cured and whatever it may be. So what to do? Then she resolved that I shall do something so that it will be an ideal for everybody. So slowly actually she gathered strength, then got those paraphernalia, that means all those amputation and other fixtures she got and started walking. And in that way she became so proficient and so determined. That means her ideal was so strong that she started climbing mountains. And in that way she became quite proficient. Of course, definitely others helped her. So in that way she became very proficient. And not only that, she made a vow that I shall climb Mount Everest. So in that way, that goal she kept in her mind. And ultimately she did. With that amputated legs, actually, with the help, whatever it may be, was possible, Even you can imagine how an amputated person can climb to the Mount Everest. She went and she climbed to the top of the mountain. Then actually she became very famous. Famous means that means she became a, as you call, motivational speaker. So she's an ideal. So naturally she herself did these things, showed his what is called limitations, but at the same time she achieved that. So keeping a high goal actually works. That is very important. That is positive principles. Cherish a noble ideal for the life. Then fourth is this. There are fourth is among the five principles is this: bear and forbear with courage and faith in oneself and in our fellow beings and in God. So, Swami Vivekananda has many times has said, Shraddha as it is called, have faith in yourself. And not only Buddha has said keep faith in yourself, not only yourself, keep faith in others also. And not only that, have faith in God also. That means higher power as it is called in general. So that is also very important for what is called spiritual life and meditative life, for the peace of mind. Then fifth is this: stop wastage of mind by stopping useless fantasies, talks, concerns which are none of your business. That is a very great advice that is given. Most of the time we waste, our time is mostly wasted by following something which is not our business. That means there is no concern with which we are not concerned at all. So that is absolute wastage. So that we are doing those things always. So these are the five positive principles that he had advised to us, given the advice that we should follow. Now let us see what he has to say about some negative principles. We have to follow also. Don't think it is unjust that we suffer or perfect things happen by our will. So if you are suffering, don't think, it has said earlier also, that means we get the result of what all actions and thoughts. So it is covered by that. But still we need to know that if our situation of life is not really conducive, or we do not like, probably others are pestering me if we think, it is not really what is called, it is not unjust. He is saying, don't think it is unjust that we suffer. It is, we are reaping the result of our actions. That we have to keep in mind. And perfect things happen by our will. We cannot really order perfect things that should come to us. It does not happen in that way. So there is a sort of what is called chance, or what we call providence, if we call act of providence, that is also playing, that we need to keep in mind. Then temptations, trials, tribulations, sorrows are not anti-God but gifts of God. This is a very important. That means you cannot think that when you are afflicted, when you are suffering, we really can turn the table to our benefit also. As I said, that lady had turned the table. That means she actually took the advantage of her suffering, all those things, extreme suffering. So actually she turned it to her what is called positive side. So this is the temptations, trials, tribulations, sorrows are not anti-God. That means it is not that we have been punished by God. We should not think in that way. It is a gift from God. There is a saying in Mahabharata that means, you know, those who know the story, and that Pandavas had their mother Kunti. Kunti actually had a lot of suffering in her life. Plenty of suffering. That means she always suffered. That means their boys are suffering and also and other things are there. But he said to Lord, prayed to Lord Krishna that yes, but give me all the sufferings from the life to life. Give me suffering as much as you can. I shall bear that, but bless me that I do not forget you. So that was his Kunti's prayer. It is a very famous prayer in our scriptures. Don't pass judgment about others' behavior unless an opinion is sought. That is also very important. We always put our remark about this person, that person, and children or friends and all those things, such and such. He's like this, like that, he should have done this and all those things. Always we are doing. That is a wastage of time. there are a situation, suppose somebody is judge, somebody is a school teacher, so naturally that person will have to give opinion about the student or the culprit, whatever it may be. So that is mandated. So if you are not mandated to give any opinion, just don't give opinion. Keep quiet. That is the point. Otherwise, your mind, we always think all those things in your mind, and mind will be disturbed. It is a disturbance. Peace will go away. So don't pass judgment about others' behavior unless an opinion is sought. Then fourth is, don't think God has special favorites. Somebody is millionaire, somebody is billionaire, somebody has blessed with so many children, or somebody is having such good health, no disease and all those things. And all those things, you think that God has given special blessings to them. So it is not like that. Don't think God has special favorites. Don't be over ambitious nor unenterprising or diffident. That means without any confidence. So the point is that somebody reaps the fruits of an action. That has been already said, and it is a dictum in Hinduism, Buddhism, and all the other Eastern religion. So they are reaping their good results. So it is not that God has given without any reason some good things or favor them with a good situation. They are reaping their good results. So in that way, do not be over ambitious nor unenterprising. That means you have to make effort. Some sort of goal should be there. That is, if you call it ambition, that much ambition one should have. That is good. But not be over ambitious. If I think that tomorrow I should become the president, now your election is coming, should I put my name? Well, you know, there are over ambitious people. If you see the what is called your ballot paper, so many people are really contesting for becoming governor, becoming the president, and all those things. You see, you will laugh probably most of by seeing the list. What is called that, you yourself know that the dim prospect of these things, but still there are ambitious people like that. So this impractical ambition is really not good. Have some goal in your life, what is achievable. The others have achieved, you know that it is within your capacity to do that. If you are over ambitious, there will be always disturbance. That means you will always feel that, well, something needed to be done, probably this was not good that you have done, that is why I am not able to reach the goal. It happens like that. So those disturbances will cause what is called the mental peace will be taken away by those thoughts. Then of course that is the golden teaching that we always relate to Holy Mother Sarada Devi, but that teaching was always there. The Lord Buddha has said, do not find fault with others. That Lord Buddha also has said in his ancient times. So that is one of the things, if it's practiced, actually mind will be at peace. So these are the, you see, three sets of 5 principles that Lord Buddha has left for us. So if we can inculcate in our life some of them, naturally that peace of mind is bound to come. That is the point. Now let us see a little bit tidbits about this type of teachings, what we can do in our day-to-day life. You know, there are personal trainers who are mini gurus, you can call them. That means some people go, some counselors, if somebody is sick or somebody has mental disturbances or cannot cope up with things, there are counselors. That is very good. That means they may not be superior persons, but still they are helpful. So there are such people who actually have left. That means they always encounter people with difficulties and have found that some advices work from them. These are tidbits. I have collected some of those tidbits for myself also. I can share with you. Let me see if I brought that. It is like this, that means, yes. It is like, there are certain mundane approach, that means how to keep the mind at peace. Just a sort of forming a sort of good habits. First is that get up early. That is one of the dictum I saw actually. I used to visit Fresno, and my host was I don't know whether he was a cardiologist, but his specialty was he used to look after heart patients. That means he was a doctor, and there is St. Agnes Hospital, a very well-known hospital, and he was a doctor. So what he used to do, he told me, that means I used to see that before I could get up or come for the breakfast, he is gone. So I asked one day that, why you leave so early? So he said that, Swami, I have a principle like this. I see what patients I have to see today, probably in the hospital or in the clinic, whatever it may be, and see how much time they will need. So in that way I plan the whole day. That means if I have to spend more time to a critical patient, naturally I have to adjust that. So sometimes I have to go early. So I get up early and start my work early so that I can get some time to take care of that situation. So the point is that we can adjust our timing of getting up. And it is a pre-planned. That means if you can plan in that way, so actually you will not be in difficulty in the day's life. Then write down, don't rely on memory. This is very important, and many people do that. I keep a little bit small piece of paper in which I usually forget, and forgetting is coming more as the age is advancing. So I need, that is a necessity for me. So I keep that means, well, today I have to go there, today I have to, what is called, these Vijay letters are there. That means we have, just like Christmas letters or Christmas card, we exchange during this Vijaya time. This Holy Mothers, when this Divine Mother's worship is completed, we exchange greetings. So my seniors are there, so I have to send them my pronouns, as we call, my respects to them on this occasion. So my juniors are there, when they send their greetings to me, I have to reply them. So this is a chore that I have to do. So I write down, yes, I have to do this chore, so I have to find time. So writing down actually is very helpful for the peace of mind, control of the mind. Then do not procrastinate also. If you can do, as it is called, if you can do today, do not leave for tomorrow. That is very helpful for the peace of mind. Then live one day at a time. Don't think too much about tomorrow. There are certain things that needed to be done tomorrow, but you can write down them. But when you are in today, just focus on the things which you need to do today. So that is also very helpful. Then planning ahead also. If you need to do something that is coming, suppose our celebrations are there. So we have to plan those things, the songs we have to plan, the food we have to plan, and we have to ask somebody that if he can delegate some work also to some people. In that way, we have to do those things for the day of celebration. So we can plan and ahead. Then don't be a perfectionist also. That is a very good advice. Of course, Sri Ramakrishna was a very perfectionist. That means he did not really tolerate any imperfection. There are stories, in his time there was no toothbrush. That means the plastic toothbrush, or nowadays things have advanced. We have electric toothbrush and all those things. So there is no toothbrush or toothpaste in his days in India. So what they used to do, they used to use twigs. Certain plants, twigs are really, the juice and all those things are good from Ayurvedic point of view, good for teeth. So they used to cut them into small pieces, and then they used to make what is called make the top like a brush. That means by hitting with a hammer or something like that. And they used to use that for cleaning the teeth. So Sri Ramakrishna used to keep one knife under his pillow, so that in the morning he could go and cut a piece of that twig and then use for brush. So once it happened that he used to have these disciples, some of the young disciples used to stay and used to help him in chores. So somebody actually was asked to do that, and he did that. But unfortunately, the knife was not put in the proper place. So next day, Sri Ramakrishna had a problem, and he could not find the knife in the proper place. And in those days, electricity was not there. and it was dark, so he was very much harassed. Then he scolded that, what is called, that young devotee, that you are so unmindful, you see that at night, how can I get that knife, and I have to spend so much time to find it out, and it's a trouble. So he said that do not do, that means when you do some work, do it in a perfect way, so that the person, even at night, will be able to find things in the proper place. So he was a perfectionist like that. Then there is denied social activities. That is very, very tough thing, sometimes for the sake of our own image, or sometimes an obligation, sometimes for what is called, there are many situations where we have to involve into social activities. For example, yesterday we had to attend one mother's worship that is being done by a group of devotees. That means they are from Bengal and they did worship. So always they invite us. Sometimes if they miss to invite us, then I do not go. But when I get an invitation, it's an obligation because I have to maintain friendship with them also. They come here, so naturally I need them to come here also. So these are the social obligations which everybody has got in his own life. That means you need to do this for the sake of your benefit or therefore to save the situation or whatever it may be. So the point is that if it is too much, then actually it is somebody is too social, actually it will be disturbance. Minimum, keep things minimum. Today also I am going after this talk to Berkeley, because I need Berkeley Swami to come here also. So we reciprocate in this way, social activities. Then things should be simplified, as you know, and then be flexible. Some people are very arrogant in certain principles are so strong. Suppose I am a vegetarian. So if I think that, well, the non-veg food should be at least 10 feet away from me, then it will be difficult for the persons to eat with me and also for me also. That means it will be a sort of botheration. So we have to be flexible. Well, yes, you eat non-veg, I am eating veg, that's fine. In that way we have to be accommodative. And do one thing at a time. That means multitasking actually disturbs mind. So at a time, one thing at a time from the childhood, that means it is a dictum from childhood is to do one thing at a time so that you can focus. That is also a practice for meditation, peace of mind. That means you concentrate your mind, then actually you have peace of mind. So these are the things that I thought will sharing with you. Of course, you also might have some experiences in controlling the mind, which can be exchanged. But definitely, you have to be aware. If you just let your mind go away the way it wants to do and do things according to your own instinct or what is called, what you feel it will be good. Actually, if you do not organize things, it will be difficult to have peace of mind. So let me conclude with a teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. So this is a very simple teaching, and probably I might have covered also this one. Yes, one teaching is this. Before Sri Ramakrishna, one teaching I actually wanted to share with you. China is not very friendly at present because of the political situation. As you know, things are happening. But Chinese civilization is very, very old, as old as India's civilization. There are 3-4 ancient civilizations, and Chinese civilization is very old. And old civilizations have the advantage that because of their experience in their lives, the what is called wise people have left many good advices for the humanity. So in that way there is a Chinese proverb. It says, if there is purity in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. If there be beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. And if there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. And when there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. So you can see how actually stage by stage things actually happen. So we have to start at that from the beginning, because that is in our hands. We can be peaceful, we can practice peace, and in that way actually we can contribute maybe an iota if you call it, to the world peace also. Politicians are trying and doing things that is perfectly all right, but in our way, our contribution will be like this. At least we should be at peace. Now let us see what Sri Ramakrishna has said, very common advice. He has said, finish the few duties you have at hand, and then you will have peace. You know, in family life there are duties, that means obligations are there. So take care of those obligations as soon as possible and finish them. Then you will be at peace. So he has said, giving the example of a farmer, that means he actually wanted to dig a canal from the water source, and when he actually finished that, he was at peace. Then actually when the water started coming from that, what is called reservoir to his field, he felt very peaceful, started took out his hookah and started smoking in happiness. So I hope that some of you will be able to emulate, or if you need, actually I don't think that you are not peaceful, you are all peaceful, at least after coming here. But still some knowledge or some, what is called, something which you can emulate in your life in certain circumstances, will be definitely helpful in keeping the peace of mind. Next Sunday on October 28th, the subject of talk is Profile of a Perfect Person, and the talk will be given by Swami Prapannananda. On Wednesday we shall study Uddhava Gita in the evening at 7:30 p.m. in this auditorium. Uddhava Gita is a sermon given by Lord Krishna to one of his disciples named Uddhava. It is not as famous as Bhagavad Gita, but definitely there are many interesting advices according to the situation of his life, which can be compared to our lives also. So we shall continue to study Uddhava Gita, that is on Wednesday, October 24th at 7:30 in this auditorium. And we have Karma Yoga Day coming, that is Saturday, October 27th. So we have many chores to do in our place. That means we have garden, we have these buildings and all those things, cleaning and raking and weeding and cutting branches, all the watering and all those things are there. For that, time to time, we organize Karma Yoga Day. That means a day dedicated to voluntary work. So you are most welcome to attend or to take part in Karma Yoga, that is on Saturday, October 27th. We come usually at 8:30 to meditation for half an hour or so, and then we work, and at 12:30 we shall conclude our work, and we have arrangements for light lunch, so we shall entertain those who will come for doing the work. We usually get about 25-30%, so those who want to come, please let us know so that we can figure out in what area, what work you will be able to do. That is also very important, so that time is not really wasted. So you are welcome to take part in our Karma Yoga on Saturday, October 27. And if time permits, if you have enough devotees to attend in the evening, there will be a discourse on the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature. That is on 27th at 7:30 p.m. in the library. Om Madhuvatarithayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavah Madhyeno Santoshadhi Madhunakto Mutoshasi Madhumat Parthivogang Rajaha Madhudaurastuna Pita Madhumanna Vanaspatihi Madhumarangastu Suryaha Madhirgavo Bhavantunah. Om Madhu, Madhu, Madhu. Sweet by the winds and the oceans, give forth blessedness. May the herbs and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us with the nights and dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessings. May the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us with the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us with the shining sun. Sweet unto us with the all living creation. Om, sweetness, harmony, peace.